Sheriff's office, open the door! Sheriff's office, open the door! Step out. Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
It's over there.
Drop the gun!
I don't have it.
312, shots fired. Suspect down.
Ooh.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. This is going to be something to watch. So it's going to be hairy.
Yeah, you're going to get our opinion on what we think, okay? And you know, some of you may like it, some of you may not. We'll be right back.
All right. So you just watched a video. This happened in on May 3rd. A deputy from the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office gets a call to a possible disturbance at an apartment complex. He, in the longer video that I'll show, he meets a lady, the caller, in the parking lot, goes up. She says it's 1401.
Concerned citizen.
Concerned citizens heard arguing.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Deputy goes up because there's a lot of misinformation that it was the wrong apartment and all that. We'll get to that in a little bit. But goes up 1401, goes to the 4th floor.
You see it all play out in newly released body camera footage from the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department. The officer announces his presence at Fortson's apartment.
He announces, he knocks, sheriff's office, open up.
Twice.
Sheriff's office, open up.
Yep.
And as you saw in the video,
And he doesn't pound and beat on the door like a wild man.
no, just
A heavy knock.
A heavy knock
To get
Right,
somebody's attention.
Attention getting knocked.
Right.
Yes. So, Senior Airman Roger Fortson answers the door, and he's standing there with a handgun in his hand down at his side.
Right hand down on his side. Yep.
Yep. The deputy, within 1.5, 2 seconds, he pulls his firearm and shoots the senior airman, and then he says, "Drop the gun, drop the gun." Calls EMS.
Sheriff's office, open the door! Sheriff's office, open the door! Step out. Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
It's over there.
Drop the gun!
I don't have it.
312, shots fired. Suspect down.
And unfortunately, the airman passes away.
When you see the video, you'll also notice, because we look at all the dynamics. You know, what are the hands doing? Is he moving aggressively towards the officer? Or, you know, is he making any overt movements with the gun hand? I didn't see any overt movements with the gun hand. All I saw was his left hand go up like this when the deputy pulls his weapon, his firearm. He goes up like this, gun is still down at his side, and then the shooting happens.
Yeah. So my question to you, and then we'll do a sponsor moment real quick. My question to you is the possession of a gun alone justify deadly force?
No.
Or does the possession of a gun alone in a hand justify deadly force?
No.
Okay. So you guys think about that.
But what it does justify is for the deputy to pull his firearm,
Absolutely.
come to the low ready, which is about center mass, lower than just a hair lower than center mass, and order him to drop the weapon.
Yes.
And if he raises that hand at all, sorry for your luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get more into that. Yeah, absolutely.
So what are we drinking, LT?
We are drinking something that you brought us. Samuel Smith Old Brewery Tadcaster. This is an oatmeal stout. It's a product of England. And I'll tell you what, it is pretty damn good. Camille and I are both fans of stouts and
porters and all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is pretty darn good. I like it. And in the stout, realm, I'm going to give this a 8.5 because it's really
I'll give
good.
it a good 8. Yeah, it's good beer. And all of our beer and liquor is brought to you by our sponsor, and here's a word from them.
Contact Main Street Realty for all your real estate needs. This power team includes Tom Clem, a veteran Marine and retired law enforcement professional.
All right, so
Just make sure that you visit their link down below in the comments down below. They're also tagged. We appreciate them very much. Thank you, sponsor.
So I'm going to do the fallen officers real quick because it's related to what we're dealing here.
Sure, absolutely.
Right now we're at 58 officers killed in the line of duty. And as of yesterday or the day before, the most recent death of a police officer was through what kind of call?
Oh my God.
It was a domestic.
Yeah.
It was a disturbance
Yeah.
call.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the one that I told you about that was very, very odd.
Oh, no.
I forget even what it was now.
Yeah.
Oh, the storm, the tornadoes.
Oh, yeah, right.
We lost one in the tornadoes,
yep.
from injuries due to the tornadoes. Yeah.
But most recently, we lost a police officer shot and killed while responding to a domestic call. And this is the number one cause of line of duty deaths.
And injury. Yep.
Yeah.
Sure is.
On the second page, I have a graph. This is from 2022. There were 267 shooting incidences with law enforcement. Of those, 49 of them were disturbance calls, the highest, and then the second one was traffic, and then everything else goes down. More officers are shot at or killed at disturbance calls than anything else.
And it's been that way since I don't even remember. I was in the business for 35 years, from 1985 to 2020, and it was always that I can remember one or two on the list, always domestics.
Yeah.
So here's to them.
Yes.
We salute all our fallen brothers and sisters. Salute.
So that's going to be one of those things that they're going to look at. What did the officer know at the time of the arrival? Now, last week there was 4 officers murdered approaching a residence in North Carolina. The officer is going to know that. The officer is going to know that the number one way officers are shot and killed are responding to domestic violence calls.
Yep.
So that is in the back of their mind. They know that. The officer went to the correct department.
Yes.
He announced himself
Twice.
twice.
Yep.
The only and he
In
can
uniform.
he can only go by what information he has
Of course.
provided.
That's all we ever can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He
So-
couldn't see through any windows to see for himself that there was a danger or not.
He did wait at the door to see if he heard anything.
Right.
And I couldn't really make out.
Nah, not on his body cam. I couldn't
Yeah.
either. No, I couldn't either.
So he knocks, and the individual comes to the door, opens the door, and he's standing there with the handgun.
Right.
And this is what we're talking about. Is that enough to use deadly force? And I think, LT, you're absolutely right. The officer draws his weapon, goes to low ready, gives commands, and then what happens from there, it happens. And the investigators, so there's going to be 2 types of investigations going on here.
Yeah,
There's
the
going to be
internal.
the internal, did the officer violate any policy?
Right.
And then there's going to be a criminal investigation run by Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
Right.
Was this incident, was this shooting a criminal act?
And sometimes those will run together, and sometimes they will run one after the other.
Right.
It just depends.
Depends
If
on the
they
agency.
believe,
Yep.
in their heart of hearts that there is going to be some criminal stuff, then they will do the internal first, and then let the criminal part play out. But for you officers out there that are watching this, is Garrity national, or is that just Florida?
I think that's a national
I think
thing,
it is
isn't
national.
Oh.
Just don't forget that you do have they have to read you the Garrity warning. So in other words, in an internal investigation, you have to tell all the facts
Yep.
when you are asked a question.
It's a
cannot
compelled statement.
That's correct. You cannot plead the fifth. You cannot say, well, I don't want to say that, or it may tend to incriminate me. And what the Garrity warning means is that anything that is divulged in the internal investigation cannot be used in the criminal investigation, because you are compelled to tell everything in the internal. So
Yeah, the internal cannot share that information with the
That's correct.
the criminal, and that's why a lot of times the criminal investigation will lead ahead of the internal.
right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I had it backwards.
That's
Yes,
all right.
you're correct. Yes.
But yeah, because that's a violation of somebody's Fifth Amendment of,
It is.
of
Self-incrimination.
self-incrimination.
Absolutely,
Protection against
yes.
self-incrimination. I'm
Yes.
glad you brought that up. Also, police officers, if you don't know, I'm sure you do, you have the Police Officers Bill of Rights. That is
Yes.
also protects you in internal investigation. So back to our individual case here. You could look at it at two ways. The deputy, knowing that these are dangerous situations, the guy has a gun, they're going to look at it as, was it reasonable?
Right.
The quickness that fecal matter can hit the oscillator, all it would take was that guy raising his gun. And it's going to be the reasonableness test. Did the officer's use of force, was it reasonable with a handgun, the ability to raise it quickly? That's going to be one side of it. The other side of it is, was just standing there a threatening motion to the officer?
Right.
And we talked about this earlier. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think the deputy's going to get charged?
I think from just the portion of the video that I watched, which is what I talked about earlier, I think there will be criminal charges. Yes, I do. I really do.
Yeah. And
It won't be first degree murder or nothing like that. Because
maybe a
he didn't walk
manslaughter?
up- Yeah, it'll be a manslaughter or something, because he didn't walk up there with the intent to kill this guy. He walked up there with the intent to find out what the hell was going on. And I think he acted a little too quickly without giving enough warning, and without, the guy's in his own house. He's got a gun. He's allowed to carry a gun in his own
so
house.
in Florida, is he allowed to have his gun in his house and bring it to the door with him?
Absolutely.
How many
you are.
times have you come to the door with a gun in your hand?
And usually it's behind my back or behind my leg or something else.
Well,
but
from now on, it's
absolutely.
going to be.
Goddamn right.
I've come to the door
Listen,
plenty
this
of
is the
times.
same agency-
Somebody's knocking, and I got my gun.
Absolutely.
Hey, what's going on? How can I help you? Whatever. Yeah.
This is the same agency, and we're not agency bashing here, but there are some issues at this agency. This same agency that had the Acorn incident. And look at our videos below, and you'll find that video where we've done a short on it, and I think we did a long video too, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and I mean, there are some serious training issues here with this agency.
Yeah,
going on.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a point that I brought up. And
So wait, you didn't answer.
what?
We'll go back to the training. Are
I'll
they
say
going to be
he's-
charged? Or is he going to be charged? I mean,
I don't think he's going to be charged. Because of the nature of the show, I have to take the opposite of what you say. He's not going to be charged.
yeah, but we talked about this the other night, and I had already taken
know.
my stance.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you didn't try to change your mind, because
No.
you will owe me. But anyway,
LT, you're absolutely right. If this sheriff has any intention of fixing this issue, he's going to have to go all the way back to the training division and say, drive out
Absolutely.
there and say, chief or captain or whatever,
whoever, yes,
commander,
yes.
what the hell is going on?
We got some issues, boys. We got some issues.
Gut the place. I mean,
Got it, and get somebody in there that can teach these young men and women
de-escalation.
Yes, some de-escalation, some contact cover concealment. I mean, come on, man.
And I wonder, because I know I've worked with training officers who, for whatever reason, it was fun for them or whatever, every scenario you put an officer in training was a shoot scenario. And so what are you doing with that? You're building a muscle
Repertoire.
memory.
Yeah, muscle memory.
Oh my gosh! Every time I go
Everybody's
out,
gonna kill me.
Everybody's going to kill me. Everybody's going to kill me. Everybody's going to kill me.
We had that problem. Remember the old shoot house we had?
Yep.
Till it burned down?
Yeah.
We had the old shoot house out there. And, you and I, it wasn't a shoot scenario every single time when you and I were doing it.
Not at all.
And we used to do simunitions, which is like a paintball for
You cops
for
know what
cops.
that is.
Yeah. Citizens don't.
When I was in
But
charge,
we didn't do that.
No, when I was in charge of our training, I would have one shoot and everything else. Maybe if we were doing like 6 scenarios, I'd have a nothing. Everything's fine. Here's your ticket. Go away. A Maybe somebody's a little bit combative. Everything in between, because that's reality.
And then we had situations to where it could have been nothing if it was handled the right way.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
And if it wasn't handled the right way, then it could escalate all the way up to shooting.
De-escalation is so important, and these officers are going to have to figure this out. These agencies are going to have to figure out what the hell, because this can't happen again. Could you some of these newer training systems like the Milo system, they're situational, and like you said, if you do it right, it will branch off into somebody giving up.
It will.
If you screw it up, it's going to escalate. So these de-escalation, and a lot of agencies, and I would say the majority of agencies are doing it right in the training area.
Absolutely they are.
But
and the advances in technology, hell, just at your high school.
Yeah.
You've got the pursuit
driving simulator,
thing now, the driving simulator and all that, which is a remarkable tool, man.
Yeah, it really is.
He let me get in and play a little bit one day. It was friggin' awesome. It's hard as hell to drive that thing.
it wasn't playing, it was training.
I'm sorry, training. I was checking out the training material. Bullshit, I was playing. But anyway, it was a lot of fun, and kudos to the school board and stuff for bringing in stuff like that. And these people that are interested in law enforcement, they get the ground level. This is what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be like this, and you need to prepare for these things. Yep. Get your mind right. That's the biggest thing. Your mind has got to be right going into this job.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're going into this job just because you get to drive, code 3 real fast with blue lights and sirens and run around and catch bad guys, you got a problem. You need to get your mind right. You really do. Talk to some old salts like us. We'll get you squared away and get you straight, and hopefully stop some of this.
Yeah.
I really hope.
Hey guys, make sure and like and subscribe and give us your comments down below. I'm not going to delete all of them. That's LT's job.
That is my job.
But we would like some suggestions and anything that's going on, any type of case you want us to look at or talk about, put it down there. Any last thoughts?
My last thoughts are that I really truly believe that there's a happy median that can be reached in our society between everybody, and I say everybody, I mean a lot of people, hating the cops, distrusting the cops, and the cops being scared every time they pull a car over. I'm not scared, but just, to the point where they got their gun in their hand every single time they stop a car. Obviously, it depends on where you're working, but I think there's a happy median, and I think that our leaders in the law enforcement community need to start educating the public more as to what that happy median is.
Yeah.
And parents, oh my God, parents need to start talking to these kids.
Absolutely.
They really do, and teach them how to interact with police officers if they are stopped.
Yep.
Question how to interact.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
All right, well said. All right, guys, that's it for the show, and thank you very much for listening and liking, subscribing, but always remember, at Surviving the Badge,
we still got your 6. Salute. Be careful out there.